Hello, I am Dr. Anthony Santorelli from the Physical Sciences Department at Anne Arundel Community College, and I would like to present work that faculty in the department have done to implement diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, in online physical science courses. In addition to me, fantastic contributions have been made towards this work by my colleagues in my department at AACC, including Dr. Seth Miller, Professor Dan Ferrandez, Professor Catherine Keogh, and Professor Robert Evans. We have achieved a lot together for our students, and I cannot thank them enough for what they have accomplished. The motivation behind our focus on incorporating diversity, equity, and inclusion measures in our courses was the existence of major equity gaps in our two most popular physical science courses at our college: PHS 100, General Physical Science, a 4-credit lecture lab general education course, and PHS 109, General Oceanography, a 3-credit lecture general education course. This is an equity calculations data dashboard we have access to through our college's Planning, Research, and Institutional Assessment Group, or PRIA. This is for PHS 100, which captures data by semester from fall 2018 to spring 2020, as well as aggregate over the whole period. The major equity gaps of concern are circled in red and determined by departure from the overall success rate by semester or for all students total during the period. Pell Grant recipients in spring 2020, as well as African Americans overall for the entire period, showed equity gaps above 10%. This shows that same dashboard for PHS 109. Equity gaps were similar to those seen for PHS 100 for Pell Grant recipients in spring 2020, as well as African Americans for the entire period, and especially spring 2020 at almost 25%. It is interesting to note the potential for how COVID-19 may have furthered inequities for some groups in spring 2020, but the key is that there are equity gaps that need serious attention regardless of the reasons behind them. My colleagues and I have participated in 2 initiatives to help address what we can do in the classroom, virtual or in person, to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion in our courses. Over spring and fall of 2020, we were part of a national cohort known as SAGE 2IC, or Supporting and Advancing Geoscience Education at 2-year colleges, to allow faculty to develop into agents of change in their courses and respective degree programs. On a college-wide level, we also currently are in the 2nd year of a 3-year cohort known as Model Course. Both of these magnificent programs have allowed us to learn so much about how to implement DEI into our courses to promote a comfortable, engaging environment for students and to spark interest in the fields of study covered in our courses, perhaps leading to pursuing a related degree in a 4-year program or a related career. The following DEI teaching strategies I will present have been implemented not only in all sections of the 2 courses mentioned earlier since fall 2020, but also in other earth science courses, including Fundamentals of Weather and Physical Geology. The first strategy is a diversity and inclusion statement in the syllabus that has a series of guidelines to ensure the syllabus is inclusive. It is accessible to all users, clear and easy to navigate, has welcoming, rewarding language, and offers channels of communication if help is needed, including with the instructor and with others from the college. Another DEI teaching strategy implemented has been a presentation in each class session or weekly module of a scientist profile or spotlight of a scientist in a field of study relevant to the course that is from an underrepresented group. In other words, someone who is not a white, privileged, straight European male, the stereotypical model of a scientist. We found that presenting the challenges that scientists outside of this mold face and how they have overcome them to have incredible achievements in their respective fields has been inspirational for all students. Another DEI teaching strategy implemented has been a writing assignment that requires research on a physical or earth scientist from an underrepresented group, including their achievements as well as challenges they overcame. Students are also expected to discuss why they chose the scientists they wrote about. Some instructors also include a way in which students share their research with others, whether it is in a class session or through an asynchronous discussion. So many parallels can be made among these scientists and what they endure to achieve great things. In fall 2020, there were qualitative surveys given to students at the end of the semester to gauge how these DEI teaching strategies shaped their comfort in the classroom, as well as their interest in the field of study and their attitudes towards it. I will now share results from the surveys from our oceanography course, in which about 50 students replied across all sections. With regards to the diversity and inclusion statement, student responses included: yes, the professor made it very clear that his goal was to ensure that my learning needs are met and guarantee that diverse perspectives and experiences will be respected and viewed as a benefit to the course. And the fact that inclusivity was a focus made me feel very comfortable. Even though I am a straight white male, I am disabled and am in a multiracial family. It is nice to know that people care for other people with differences. With regards to the scientist profiles and spotlights, a student response included: I read some of the scientist profile of the week entries and felt motivated of all of the different backgrounds people came from. It was inspiring to read what each of these scientists had done in their field of work and how they broke boundaries for their background of people. In answering the question, did DEI measures help increase interest in oceanography? Student responses included: these assignments reaffirmed that even though I am a Black woman in STEM, there is absolutely a seat at the table for me. It also allowed for me to be more aware about discrimination within the science field towards minorities. I believe these assignments will help me become a better ally to my counterparts. And yes, although I was always intimidated by math and science, as a female, these weekly stories were very inspiring and encouraging. For the next steps we will take in this work, we will offer DEI workshops to our college, which will be based on a three-part series we gave to our science department as a whole in fall 2020 on DEI teaching strategies in science courses. We have begun a department-wide online repository of scientist profiles that are used in all science courses. We plan to perform learning outcomes assessment for our courses to gauge if students' mastery of learning outcomes has increased due to these DEI measures. We can use previous assessments to compare these results to. Finally, we are applying for our college's Designs for Learning and Equity Fellowship to measure how our DEI strategies have affected the equity gaps in our courses. If you have any questions on our work or would like examples of the teaching strategies presented, please do not hesitate to email any of us. Thank you all so much for watching, and thanks to the MDLA for giving me the opportunity to present our work to you.